In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the factory style mirrors and upgrade them to these extendable tow mirrors. Let's get started. To do this, we actually have to take the door panel off to get access to the mounting bolts and the harness for the mirror. I like to start at the door handle, remove that black cover. To do that, you can use a pick, pull the handle away, and just grab the cover from the bottom here and remove it. This will expose an 8mm bolt, which we have to remove. Okay, pull that away. Right here, we have to remove the master window switch. Use a trim tool. Very gently pry it up. You don't want to break it or scratch the plastic. There's one retainer at the front and one at the back. Once you pry these off, you can gain access to the electrical connectors. Try not to separate the switch like that. Hold it from the bottom and push the locking tab and remove these electrical connectors so we can move the switch aside. There should be 3 of them. Inside the grab handle, you're going to want to pop this cover off. I'm using a curved pick to get this out of here. You can use a pocket screwdriver if that's what fits in there. And then use an 8mm socket to remove that bolt. At the bottom of the door, you'll see 2 6mm screws. One is right here towards the outside of the door. Pull it away and remove it. The other one is right over here towards the inside of the door. Remove that one as well. Now grab the door panel and lift it straight up. Don't go too far with it though, because there's still things connected on the back side, but make sure it unhooks everywhere. We have to disconnect the mirror switch underneath it, pull the electrical connector out. And then we also have to remove the door handle cable, which as you can see has this blue retainer. There are 2 tabs over here that we need to squish in. Once we squeeze those, you're gonna wanna pull the cable straight out. You can use whatever you have to pry these in. Just be careful not to break them. There we go. Now pull the door handle cable up and out. This little ball end should slide up. For me, it just kind of popped out, which sometimes happens. Now you can take your door panel and pull it away. Peel this vapor barrier back. You don't have to remove it all the way. This gives us access to the electrical connector. It doesn't always pop out like this, but regardless, you have a locking tab. Press it and unplug it. Then there are 3 11mm nuts to be removed. Pull the mirror away, and there's your old mirror. This new mirror is quite a bit heavier, so watch out. But line it up with the door, press it on here. The mounting nut for the top is going to be the easiest one to start. So start that on just so it can hold it onto the door. There we go. Now you can let go of the mirror. Start the other 2 in. Now tighten them up. Make sure they're all evenly tightened. You'll notice that as I tighten it, the gasket will squish and the mirror will press itself up against the door. That's normal. That's what you want. But don't over tighten them. You don't want to break the plastic on the other side. You want to make sure they're all even. Usually, once it gets nice and snug, give it another 1/4 turn at most, and you should be good to go. Peel this back, and let's plug in the electrical connector. Make sure that clicks, and put this vapor barrier back to protect any water and wind noise from coming in here. Bring the door panel back, line up the door handle cable, and you want to put the ball end into the handle itself back in first. Make sure that it slides in here all the way down. You don't want this to pop off on you while you're trying to operate the door handle. Then you want to pull it out like this, slide the cable into the slot, and press the retainer in. That should lock in nicely. And for the mirror switch, it's difficult to show you because the wire is very short, but plug it in from underneath here. Perfect, that clicked. The door lock indicator, make sure it's in the unlocked position. If it's low, it's less likely to fall into the door panel hole, which is this one right here. You want to make sure this lines up and doesn't get smashed down in there. Pull the wires for the master window switch up and through. And now you're going to want to raise up the door panel, slide it down, make sure this lock indicator goes in through the door panel also. There we go. That's all locked in. I have my wires. This is in there. Perfect. And now make sure that it's flush all the way around. If it isn't, likely some of the hooks have not hooked in. So take it back out, resituate it, pop it back down. Let's put this bolt back in. The 8mm headed one that goes into the grab handle has the larger washer on it. Make sure that's snug, and put this cap back on to cover it. Resecure the door panel from the bottom with these 6mm headed screws. Put both back in. Don't tighten them too much, they only go into plastic and it will strip out easily. At the top here we have the bolt that goes through the door handle. Tighten that back up, and don't forget to put this cover back in place. Press it on to lock it in. Lastly, the master window switch with the lock and everything else. Reconnect all of the wires. There should be 3 of them. And slide it back down, tap it into place. And there you have it. Tow mirror is installed. Now adjust it, and of course you would also do the same to the other side.